Welcome back students. So I am here again with my next video on the topic latitudes and longitudes. So till now in my previous videos I have already explained about latitudes, that the imaginary line that drawn horizontally on a globe are called latitudes. After that I explained you about the important parallels of latitudes. I told that why do we call it parallels of latitude, and after that I told that there are total 180 degree latitudes, that is 90 degree latitude in the northern hemisphere and 90 degree latitudes in the southern hemisphere. After that I told here in next video I explained about the important parallels of latitudes. So the important parallels of latitudes are 0 degree equator and Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, Arctic Circle, Antarctic Circle. So all these 5 are called as the important parallels of latitudes. So we call it important parallels of latitudes because these parallels of latitudes are important to divide the whole earth into 3 heat zones. So these 3 heat zones are, the first zone is the torrid zone, which is the hottest zone of the earth, and this zone is on both the side of the equator. Okay, in northern hemisphere and in the southern hemisphere, in both the side of equator, the first zone is the torrid zone, which is the hottest zone of the earth. So just after torrid zone, the next zone is the temperate zone on both the side of the equator in the northern hemisphere and in the southern hemisphere, and this next zone is called temperate zone. And this is here in this zone the temperature is moderate, means neither too hot nor too cold. After that the third zone is near to poles. Okay, and on both the sides of the equator it is near to poles, there in the northern hemisphere and in the southern hemisphere, and we call this zone as the frigid zone. Why? Because this zone remain frozen throughout the year, and this is the coldest zone of the earth. So till there I have explained in my previous 3 videos. Now today we are going to start with our next topic, that is longitude. So till now I explained you about the latitudes, and now today we will start with our longitudes. So just like, first of all, what is longitude? Okay, so just like the latitudes, we can define longitudes also, that longitudes are the imaginary lines that are drawn vertically. Okay, so the longitudes are the imaginary lines that are drawn vertically on a globe. Correct? So these longitudes, as in the latitudes, it was easy for us to decide that easy to decide that equator as the line of reference. Why? Because the equator is the longest parallel of latitude. But here in this longitude, all these lines, it starts from North Pole and it ends at the South Pole. So we can take this ball and it will help us to learn more about the longitude. So as I told you, all the lines, it starts from North Pole and all these lines ends at the South Pole. That means all these lines, they form semicircle. These lines don't form a complete circle, but these lines form a semicircle which starts from North Pole and ends at the South Pole. So as here all the lines are equal in length, so it is very difficult to decide which would be the line of reference here. So all the countries together, they decided the line that passes through British Royal Observatory at Greenwich in London as the line of reference for all the meridians, all the longitudes. So this line is considered as 0 degree meridian. Okay, the line that passes through British Royal Observatory, we consider it as the line of reference for all the meridians here. So that's why this line is considered as the 0 degree meridian. Okay, and from this 0 degree meridian, the lines towards its eastern hemisphere and the lines are drawn towards its western hemisphere. On both the sides, in east and west side, the lines are drawn, and all these lines starts from North Pole and ends at the South Pole. And these lines, the letters that we use for these lines are, for the lines that are drawn in the eastern hemisphere, we denote it with E, and the lines that are drawn in the western hemisphere, we denote it with W. Okay, so from this prime meridian, 0 degree prime meridian, 180 lines are drawn in the eastern hemisphere and 180 lines are drawn in the western hemisphere. So the total number of parallel meridians of longitudes are 360 degree. 180 degree here in the eastern hemisphere and 180 degree here in the western hemisphere. And the line that is just opposite to the prime meridian, it is our 1 degree meridian. When we join both the lines here, you can see it forms a complete circle. Okay, we can form it means a complete circle in case of meridians can be formed by joining two meridians together. So 180 degree meridians here and 180 degree meridians here, where 0 degree meridian, this is our prime meridian, as well as 180 degree meridian, both are common for both western and the eastern, for the eastern and the western hemisphere. Okay, so these two lines are common, and this 180 degree line, here we write both 180 degree E and 180 degree W, because this line is common for both eastern and the western hemisphere. So all these, I told you that all these lines form semicircle, and all these lines meet at North Pole and at the South Pole. So I will draw some lines here, lines of meridians here, so that you would be able to understand more about it. So here you can see I have already drawn all the lines here. I have not drawn all the 360 meridians here, but few lines I have drawn here. So all these lines, it looks like this. So this is our prime meridian, and the line just opposite to prime meridian is the 180 degree east and west longitude. Okay, from here you can see all these lines, it forms a complete circle by joining the opposite side line. So here these lines meets at the all line meet at the North Pole as well as at South Pole. So Earth, all the longitude lines, it looks like this. Okay, understood? So this is our lines of longitude. So as I told you, from the prime meridian, 0 degree prime meridian, 180 lines are there in the eastern hemisphere and 180 lines are there in the western hemisphere, and the total number of lines are 360 degree, and all these lines are equal in length, and these lines meet at 2 points, that is the North Pole and the South Pole, and these lines are semicircle but can form a complete circle by joining with the opposite line. So these all are the prime lines of longitudes. Okay, and we also call it meridians, meridians of longitude. So I explained here about the meridians of longitude. First of all, I told you that the line of reference, that from where we start drawing all these lines, from where we start making all these lines, is the prime meridian, which is located at British Royal Observatory at Greenwich in London. So from that line is taken as the line of reference, and it is our 0 degree prime meridian, and from that 0 degree prime meridian till the 180 degree meridian, we are having 180 lines in the eastern hemisphere and 180 lines in the western hemisphere, and all these lines are equal in length, and these lines form a semicircle. Okay, but when these lines form semicircle joined with the opposite line, it forms a complete circle, and all these lines are important to locate the places, just like the latitudes. So these lines are also very important to locate the places. Like with the latitude, we can find the latitude of the place, but this latitude can be anywhere on that particular line. Okay, anywhere of the earth on that particular line. But if we know the longitude also, then we can decide the location of the place, that at this latitude and at this longitude the place will be located. So about this I will explain in my next video, how to locate the places with the help of the latitudes, and longitudes. And in next video I will explain you about grid system. Till now I told you about the lines of latitude, and I told you about the lines of longitude. Latitudes drawn horizontally, here longitudes drawn vertically. So till now I explained you, and I given you the features of latitudes and the features of longitudes, and in my next video I will explain you about the grid system. Okay, so this is enough for today, and wait for my next video. Thank you and have a nice day.